Good morning. This is the Great Basin Fire Potential Briefing, Friday, July 8th. On the impact map, we have breezy winds, marginal critical 25 to 30 miles per hour, but humidity dry, where you see the orange here the next 3 days. You can notice the critically dry fuels line starting to push further north. Still some isolated thunderstorms, a mix of wet and dry eastern Utah on Sunday. Did have a round of lightning, pretty intense up in the mountains of Idaho, and a little bit left over here in eastern Utah. I see the precipitation through here. So it was a mix of wet and dry, a bit on the wetter side up here, but those strikes will have to be investigated. Did have some new starts up there in that vicinity of lightning, small so far. New fire starts in the red, recent fires in the yellow. It has been bone dry. The chart on the right says it all. 0 to 10% of normal for the week, where you see the area of dark red, and obviously no precipitation in those areas. So fuels continue to dry. The red area, the 5% or lower on the 100-hour fuels, now covers about half of the region along the Utah-Nevada border, starting to poke up in north of Utah, and even seeing a few spokes up here in southern Idaho. And even these golden areas, still in the single digits, things could burn. This is the water vapor imagery. This shows the moisture in the air mass that's invisible to the naked eye. The dryness of the air mass now pushing into the southern areas, very dry. Even in the monsoon areas, that monsoonal moisture is starting to temporarily shift to the south and east. Still a bit of moisture up in the mountains of Idaho. And that mimics this map here on the left. For today, we have a dry air mass coming in. Moderate upper level winds. We'll have to watch for those breezy conditions. You see the 7-day on the right. There are those breezes, the dark green to oranges, more in the 15 to 25 mile an hour range, a little gustier further up north, but the humidity up there is higher, bone dry humidity in the south. Now tomorrow we have high risk for wind across our central areas. Still a similar setup, that punch of dry air, gusty upper level winds, a bit stronger wind speeds here on the left. You see these oranges to even darker oranges and purple shades. Those would be gusts in the low 30s. You see the humidities there very dry. We kick back to Sunday. Dry on the 7-day, the air mass still dry in the west. Starting to see some spokes of monsoonal moisture isolated, returning to eastern Utah, and there could be some isolated thunderstorms there. Otherwise, winds, just a few breezes up in the Snake River Plain, but still dry in our southern areas. Not much precipitation to speak of the next 3 days. Further down the road, the dry air mass continues. We stay hot, high pressure from the Four Corners starts shifting a bit further west. Notice the 7-day, we stay dry, and that high pressure just builds Tuesday and starting to rotate some monsoonal moisture around by Wednesday, and then Thursday, we'll have to watch for some lightning after an extended period of hot and dry weather. Looks like the best bet for that along the Nevada-Utah border and pushing up to parts of Idaho. So we'll have to watch that for the middle part of next week. 7-day precip totals and the 8 to 14-day above normal temperature-wise, but the precip story shows a return of a robust monsoonal pattern for the third week of July. This concludes our briefing. Have a great day.